Lesson 23. Tools that help scientists do their job. Science is like a multi-tool gizmo. We can picture Bingo getting his gizmo for his birthday. Bingo might not know what he is holding and how useful it is. Bingo might realize only later in life that his parents have given him everything he needed to build something very dangerous. Science is what builds airplanes, grows better corn, and helps us write logic books. Every tool on Bingo's gizmo has a use. Science tools number 1. Observation. Bingo keeps records and learns to use measuring instruments. Number 2. Hypothesis. Bingo brainstorms an idea that might help him solve a problem. Number 3. Experimentation. Bingo builds a test for his revolutionary idea. Will it work? Number 4. Analyzing data. Bingo finds out whether his tests proved anything. And 5. Getting advice. Bingo asks other scientists to inspect his work. In the next lessons, we will explain more about these tools and how to use them without hurting yourself or blowing anything up. These are the tools of the scientific method. Everyone can use these tools to solve problems and answer questions because everyone does science, only some do it better than others. Farmer Gray's cow. Gray farms a dairy in central Wisconsin. He has a milk cow that won't eat. It is wasting away. Farmer Gray wonders if it is bad hay. Will he need to replace his winter hay? That'll cost way too much. He can't afford that. Farmer Brown strolls over to offer his advice. He suspects a twisted stomach and suggests calling a vet. Farmer Gray gets irritated with Farmer Brown's high-tech advice, and besides, vets cost too much. So when Farmer Brown is gone, Farmer Gray looks his cow Buttercup over. Buttercup doesn't have any strange bulges from her stomach, being in the wrong place. That must not be the problem. Farmer Judd, up the road, offered his advice. He once fed peanut butter to a cow, and it got its appetite back. Farmer Gray calls his wife on the cell phone, and she buys 3 quarts of Jiffy peanut butter. Farmer Gray feeds all 3 quarts to Buttercup with a giant syringe. 2 days later, Buttercup dies. Buttercup, beloved cow. If Farmer Gray were a better barnyard scientist, his cows might have more confidence in him. How could science tools have helped Farmer Gray? Number 1. Farmer Gray could have simply fed 1 or 2 bales of a different kind of hay to Buttercup. This experiment wouldn't cost much. 2. Vets know a lot about cows. Cows know this. Just calling a vet to get advice would give Farmer Gray one more viewpoint to consider. 3. Farmer Gray could research Buttercup's symptoms in his Farmer's Guide to Bovine Health. He would have read that a twisted stomach called a displaced abomasum does not necessarily produce any bulges. Number 4. Gray is tight with his money. He assumed a vet wasn't worth the cost, but losing a cow cost him much more. If he had spent $50 for a vet visit, he could have saved $2,000 it cost to replace Buttercup. Farmer Gray sure made a mess of this situation. The rest of his cows might have something to say about this. For the animals' sake, farmers should listen up when they hear their cows say science can help us if we use it. Exercises A. In the following examples, choose the science tool you think would best help the person in the example. Number 1, Nathaniel. My Achilles tendon has started to hurt when I run. It started a while back. For years I have run in a pair of town shoes. That might have caused the problem. I bought a pair of new trail running shoes this week. My tendon still is a little sore when I rub it. A. Hypothesis. Nathaniel needs to come up with a different explanation for his painful tendon. B. Observation. Nathaniel should pay attention to the way he runs to see if he can notice when it hurts and when it doesn't. C. Getting advice. Nathaniel needs to visit a foot doctor and ask him what to do. D. Experimentation. Nathaniel hasn't waited long enough to see if the new shoes will take the pain away. He hasn't finished his experiment. Number 2. Marjorie was upset with herself. She had dropped a can of blueberry marmalade on her new cream-colored carpet. Now, what did the carpet man say I should do with stains? He said to rub the whole rug down with whatever stained the rug. That way it'll all be the same color. I don't know about that. What should Marjorie do? A. Observation. Measure the size of the stain and its proximity to the couch. B. Getting advice. Maybe look up carpet stain removal on the internet. C. Experiment. Try removing the stain with lime juice mixed with hydrogen peroxide. D. Hypothesis. Perhaps this really isn't blueberry marmalade. Maybe it's a deadly purple fungus. Number 3. Ebenezer is having trouble with his computer. Every time he tries to open up his favorite flight simulator, a message box pops up which says something. After he closes the message, his flight simulator won't open. What should Ebenezer do? A. Getting advice. Call the tech support people at the store and pay them $100 an hour to tell him how to fix the problem. B. Experiment. Try rebooting his computer and reinstall all the software. C. Observation. Read what the message box says when it pops up. D. Hypothesis. The last person who used this computer was my son Tommy. He was messing around and arranging the icons on my desktop. He must have messed up the computer somehow. B. Answer the following questions. Number 4. Name an experiment you've done, perhaps in the kitchen while cooking, in the garage on the family car, on your little brother that shouldn't have, or someplace in your life that embarrasses you. 5. Is there anything wrong with this father's experiment? Father. In a moment, you'll see the world's best apple pie. Mother. What does that mean? Father. I've worked up a revolutionary new recipe for pie crust. We're out of butter, so I'm using applesauce. Mother. Haven't I told you not to experiment? Father. It's done. How does it taste? Surely it's not that bad. Mother. It is.